Welcome back to the Lockwood Chronicles. My name is Larissa and today we're going over my February TBR. I am hoping to read 9 books this month, or I have 9 books that are on my TBR, and the odds of them all being read are very slim. But January, as you'll see in the January wrap-up, was a good reading month for me. So let's, fingers crossed, that February will also be. With that being said, all of my library books that I rented, all of a sudden, just all of them became active or available for me to rent. So that's what's contributing to a lot of this are those books, which is great. Use your public library, your local library. It's fantastic. I connect mine with Libby, so I can easily transfer all of those books onto my Kindle and then read them when I want, well, within the checkout period, and then easy peasy, I return them, and so great. We have 9 books to discuss. My first book that I would like to read in February is X's and O's by Amy Lee. I will be reading this one on my Kindle because it's one of the library books that I checked out. The first 3 will be library books on my Kindle. I read Set on You actually by Amy Lee. I did enjoy the story. I thought it was fun. It was just a quirky, fun read, really quick. And this one is kind of a spin off of it. So it's the second in the series, but you don't have to read them together. They're all their own things, but I'm sure there will be snippets of the previous book. And Tara is a social media influencer, and she's obsessed with love and has had her heart broken by 10 different men. She has been called the stage 5 clinger, and she really wants to have a meet cute, but thinks that they're dead. And so she, and I believe from what I recall somebody saying, is her and Trevor end up rooming together, or they just end up being friends or something. And he is helping her go on her quest to go back with all of her exes and kind of see if there's a second chance there. Trevor is resistant to relationships, so we shall see. The next book that I will be hopefully reading is The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, and this is also a sequel to the Off-Campus series. It's a hockey sports romance. I think this one involves a dancer and one of the guys from the house in the previous one. We won't really get into that because you should read the first one. It was cute, it was fun. Everybody says that the first one, The Deal, is the best, and I mean, it was okay to me. I read a lot of sports romance. I really like athletes and sports romance in general, so I've read quite a few of them, so I know kind of what I'm looking for in them. And it's just it's a fun read by any means, but I know so many people love this series, so I'm gonna continue on with it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't it didn't wow me, but I did enjoy it. The third book is A Very Merry Bromance by Lisa K. Adams, and that finally became available. So this is what, the 4th or the 5th book in the Bromance Book Club series, and I love that series so much. It's just so fun. It's just a nice little comfort read. And this is about Colton, who is a famous country music singer. What's there to say? I love the Bromance Book Club. I love the relationships between all the bros in this book club, and every man should read romance and discuss it to better their relationships. Oh, let's just continue on with series. A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the 3rd book in the Hades and Persephone retelling, so I won't get into that. It is a mythological Greek retelling, but set in modern day, so it's still the same Greek gods, but it's just in a modern day setting, which is fun. Very spicy, very open door romance, so just be cautious when proceeding into this. But I love Hades and Persephone. Persephone kind of gets annoying. I will say that. In the second one especially, I was really annoyed with her. So we'll see what the 3rd one brings us with her, and hopefully she's gone through some character development. Sticking with some series, Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. That's funny, it rhymes. And this is technically the first book in the Throne of Glass series. I read the prequel last month, so you'll get I did a whole reading vlog on it, so go check that. Well, I did a birthday vlog while reading this, the Assassin's Blade, which is the prequel to Throne of Glass, so you can check out my thoughts there, and also in my January wrap-up, which will be coming sometime after this video. So this is about Selena Sardothian, yeah, and she is the best assassin to ever exist, and she's just amazing and does stuff, and things will ensue. I'll let you know at the end of this month if I think that you should read The Assassin's Blade first or Throne of Glass first. After I read The Assassin's Blade, I feel like I should have read Throne of Glass first because I feel like I would have been more connected to her character, but we'll find out. I'm excited to get into this series. It's just so fun. So my Colleen Hoover read of the month is Hopeless. So I am working my way through her past catalog, and I know she is a very hit or miss author with some people. I enjoy her stories for the fact that they're very fast-paced and engaging, and not necessarily healthy relationships by any means, but it is a great perspective and entertaining read. But I really hope people do not take her romances as ideal, because they're very much not. But, I mean, except for Atlas. Hopeless is more of a YA romance, and it's between Skye, who is a senior in high school, who meets Dean Holder, and he is more of the promiscuous side, whereas Skye is more, I believe, a goody two-shoes, from what I remember or have heard. And they have some troubled past. Yep, so I feel like this is going to be, again, a more emotional, very like heartbreaking book, that there's going to be a lot of reveals. And Colleen does very good twists with her books. So they're just like big twists. I don't understand how she can do that. It's so weird. It really does not follow the regular romance formula ever, because there's usually like a third act breakup, but like hers is like third act breakup plus like really life-changing revelations and events that concur. So we'll see. I've heard that this is a lot of people's favorites, which is very exciting to know. And so the other cover, I believe that there's like a boy on the other cover, if I recall correctly, or maybe I'm thinking of one of her other books, but I really liked this cover. So when I saw it, I snagged it up because I hate people on covers. It weirds me out. Next up is Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer. I've heard tons of good things about this, especially recently. It's a second chance romance, and I love that. And I believe, yeah, they were like friends to strangers to romance, I guess. I don't know. It's about a Hollywood actor. He is going to play a superhero, and he's super excited about that. And then a single mother who is an assistant manager to the grocery store and sees him in the tabloids all the time. And somehow they reconnect. There's a child involved. And I've heard that the child really makes the story. This is gonna be so good. And I love like superhero comic book kind of things. Next up, I'm trying to get through my book of the month books. So next up is Dating Dr. Dill. I got this so long ago, and this is by Nisha Sharma. And it's I believe like marriage of convenience or dating of convenience or something. So Karina Mann dreams of having a love story like her parents, but she prefers restoring her classic car to swiping right on dating apps. When her father announces he's selling her late mother's home, Karina makes a deal with him. He'll gift her the house if she can get engaged in 4 months. But her search for a soulmate becomes impossible when her argument with Dr. Prem Verma, host of the Dr. Dill Show, goes viral. Now the only man in her life is the one she doesn't want. So enemies to lovers, we love that. Dr. Prem Verma is dedicated to building a local community health center, but he needs to get donors with deep pockets. The Dr. Dill Show was doing just that until his argument with Karina went viral, and he was left shortchanged. That's when Karina's meddling aunties present Prem with a solution. Convince Karina he's her soulmate and he'll regain funding for his clinic. Even though his views on love matches and arranged matches conflict with hers, Prem finds the more he's with Karina, the more he begins to believe she's the woman he wants to spend the rest of his life with. But for Prem and Karina to find their happily ever after, they must admit that hate has turned into fate. How exciting. I've heard mixed things about this. I've heard some people really love it. I love that there's the representation of different cultures with this. But I have heard that our protagonist, Karina, is not always, like, she just finds conflict or something. I don't know. We'll find out. But I have heard so many people love this book, on the other hand. So we'll see which side I fall on. I'll probably end up loving it because it's very difficult for me to not like something. All right, lastly, this brings us to the last book in the February TBR, which is also going to be our book club pick. Like I said, I'm trying to get through book of the month, my book of the month shelf. And with that, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez is on there. I have heard such a resurgence. I mean, this was just released sometime last year in book of the month, and so many people recently have started reading it and absolutely loving it, and I want to be part of that squad, you know? And also there's a goat. That's the main reason I chose this book, is because there's a goat on the cover. Big city girl goes to a small town romance, and it's also an age gap with the female as the older person, which we don't really see that often in romances especially. So after a wild bet, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and a cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need glory or fame. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor. Whew. And every minute she spends with Daniel in the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering just what's really important. Yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, and yet she can't just give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? So it sounds like there's going to be some family drama and conflict and finding your own way even as you're older, which, relatable. Oh, I'm so excited. I gotta stop using it. I'm elated to read this and have it as our book club pick. So keep an eye out for the book club reading vlog and then the book club episode. The reading vlog will have no spoilers, while the book club episode will have the spoilers and the discussion questions. Ooh, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I've heard so many great things about this. What a fun time. It's kind of giving me Heart of Dixie vibes, you know? So these plus the 3 library books are what I'm planning to read in the month of February. We'll see if we can do it. We can hope, we can dream, we can hope. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video and any TBR or other book content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more book content, because that's what we do here. And remember to respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks, bye.